Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Warframe for Dummies, and today we're doing weapons and Warframe. Here's what you need to know. So we're going to start with the Warframe and then go over to the weapons. So right now, if you go to your arsenal, and if you don't know where the arsenal is, don't worry. You can either watch my Orbiter video or you can go right here. Right here, this is your arsenal. If not, you can always go to your menu, Equipment, Arsenal. And this will take you exactly where you need to go. If you also need to do anything else, always look through these options right here. But for the time being, this is where you need to go. So, you get a Warframe. You got multiple Warframes. You want to choose. All you have to do is, you see that right there? It says Equip. Press A. And now you can choose from a multitude of Warframes. Alright, cool. But today, we're just going to go over Banshee. Nothing too special. So, say, I don't know, I just got this Warframe and I want to mod her to your specificities. It's very easy. You see that little thing that says upgrade? Yeah, you hit upgrade, boom. You go to the upgrade. What is this? This is the upgrade screen. I know there's a lot to see here, and we will go over bit by bit. So as of right now, each Warframe will have a thing called capacity, and you can see the capacity right here. This capacity is the amount of mods you can put on. Each mods like these, will have a number corresponding to it. So if you see right now, Streamline is highlighted. You see that little number, it says 9 with that little symbol that looks like a dash. That is its capacity. So if I were to take it off, like so, you would see that I would got 9 capacity back, but then something over here went down. Alright. Now there are ways to increase your capacity. I think starting out you get 32 capacity, something along those lines. I can't remember, because everything I have is different. So, you can increase the capacity, and what you do is you go down to where it says actions right there, and then you can do either auto install, which I would not suggest using this one whatsoever, unless you absolutely have no idea what you are doing and you just want to play the game. Auto install, it'll just kind of put some stuff in. I would suggest looking up a build, and you can go on YouTube. There's a site called overframe.gg. If not, I know it's called Overframe, and you can get a good idea. If not, watch some YouTube videos. And then you have this thing called an Orkan reactor. A lot of people in the Warframe community will call this the potato, or at least the golden potato. Why? People just, I guess it looks like a potato. Don't ask me. You can also go over to here to polarize. What's polarize? Well, it's basically adding a forma to your Warframe. We'll go over that very shortly. You also have swap polarity. Again, I'll go over. And lens. Lenses are for your Tenno XP. And we will go over that in a separate video. But you can install your lenses onto your Warframe and weapons. This is where you'd go for that. Weapons don't use Orkan reactors. They use Orkan catalysts. So you'll go to the exact same place for it here, but that's where you'll go. But right now, Banshee has that. So we're going to start all the way over here. So you see the capacity. So you have armor right here. It will reduce the amount of damage you will take as soon as your shields run out. So it hits health, it'll hit your armor, and your armor is your reduction of the amount of damage you take. So the next one, you have energy, and energy is basically like mana in Warframe. Some Warframes don't use energy. I think there's only 2 for the time being. But right now, this is where you'll go to see it. Every Warframe will use some form of energy. If not, they'll tell you what it uses. Next, you have health. I'm pretty sure health is pretty self-explanatory, but this is where you can see it right here. And then you also have shields. Now, I will go over in a separate video all the statuses, but one of the statuses that will cut directly through to your shields is toxic. And if you don't know what you're looking at right now, you could just scroll over it and it will give you this short little window. You can also get this thing called overshields. Overshields is that when it goes from blue to purple, it means you're exceeding your shield capacity. So if I have 300 shields right now, and I get an additional 300, so it's a total of 600, it'll turn purple. But that's where you get that. And then sprint speed is how fast your Warframe moves, or at least while sprinting. This, don't worry about it. Or that, don't worry about it. That's for Tau resistance. It's for sentience. Sentience, one of the factions. So you'll have this next one. This is gonna start going into the abilities. So you have duration, efficiency, and range. Duration is how long an ability is going to last for. Efficiency is for the amount of energy that is going to be spent. Range, a lot of the stuff is pretty straightforward. Range is how far a ability is going to be able to either be cast or the area of effect, how big it is. And then strength is how much meat you have behind it. And you can also see by all these abilities, so if you go over to here, let me move myself yet again, you can see that Banshee's first ability, Sonic Boom, all right, you see that all of them start at a base of 100. But you can see that with a little bit of duration, you go down to... Duration's not on Sonic Boom, but if you go down to range and strength, you can see that the range and the strength are right there. You can see that because I have 145% range, that it went from a base of 15 all the way up to 21 and almost 22 meters. You also see that the damage has gone up. I don't know really what the strength for this is. You also see that this ability has a rank of 3. Every Warframe has a max rank for their abilities of 3. So it goes from unrank to a max of 3. So you can see how all of them are affected. The drain is equal to how much it costs. So if I want to use this ability, it costs 50 energy. So 50 out of the 656 that I have to use. And that's pretty much all of it right here. You can, I will say this, you can also have mods like Transient Fortitude. So if you pop this in, you'll see that it has plus 55% ability strength. That's this. But minus 27.5 ability duration, which is this. And so this means that it'll take your thing. You can actually get below 100%. And sometimes certain builds actually require that you do so. I'll go over it when I go over the Nova Warframe, which is going to be a while. But there's 2 builds for her. Depending if you dip below 100% or above 100% is how the ability works. Each abilities are weird. So now that we have that out of the way, and yes, you can search, you're wondering, what in God's name are all these symbols? So these are technically some of the different schools of Tenno. At least you have these right here. But so you have the Aura ones, and that's right here. You have the Augments, the Exilus, and that was up here. And then you have the Madarai, the Vazrin, the Naramon, the Zeneric. I know they all have interesting names. And the Umbral, but the Umbral you'll eventually get to. So let's get back up to here. So you just finished Vor's Prize, and you just got a few mods. Yes, if you've seen in the Orbiter video, you'll see that there's a lot of mods. So we're gonna go over the mods right now. So we'll take Transient Fortitude as an example again. So you'll see that is the capacity, but it's green. This thing right here is totally green. Well, if you go over here, you'll see that this empty square is different from this empty square. And I'm gonna tie these together. So if I put this one, a primed flow, if you see how that's green, and I move it over to here, you see that it went from a 6 to a 12. Well, that is a polarized capacity slot. You get 8 of these to put your whatever mods in, and minus these 2. This one right here is the Exilus slot. This one is locked unless you have the proper adapter for it. And if you do, it only will take the certain mods. Just like this one is the Aura one. When you're starting the game out, I would highly suggest, and I say highly, I mean highly suggest, that you get some Aura mods and put this in here. Now, there's something you can end up doing, and I'll even do this on purpose, so let me get some extra space. You can pop it out. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what happens when you put the wrong one in. So you see right there, it's a dash polarity. I'm not going to say it's a generic one. I'm just going to go for the very simple ones. So we're going to put combat discipline. And you can see right there it says a 7 and it has a D. Now, the only one that will increase your capacity, you can see right over here, it's 60. So yeah, it's a base of 30, but it's a 60 capacity. That means if I didn't have anything here, I'd only be able to put up to 60 points. So if I put this in here, it'll allow me to put it in there, but you can see that it's red. And it went to 5. I barely can see right now. But it won't give you that extra capacity like this one does, like the other one does. So we'll put corrosive projection back in there. And you can see that our capacity went up to 74. And that went from a 7 to a 14. So it increases your capacity. This is why you really need to have these. I will also go over some mods. I think I still have them. So when you start out the game, you might have a mod that looks like continuity here, but it only has 3 dots. So we'll go over this. If you see right here, continuity has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means it is upgraded 5 times, and that is its full maximum. So originally it's 4. You'll see the capacity of 4 there originally, with its I like to call it the V polarity. So you can see that once it goes from a base of 5% duration to a maximum of 30% duration. Now where you go to upgrade this is your mod segment. It's not too far, but you can see if you go down here where it says mods, if you press X, it will take you right away to there. And so now if I had something that needs, we'll say prime flow here, I can go over to fusion, and here is where you'll use endo to boost up your mod. So if I boost it up 1 rank, it'll go from 225% to 250%. Yeah, you can go up to max rank 10. And you can see right over here, it costs me 30 endo just to do it, and basically almost 1.5 million credits. There are credit farms, but this is not the video for that. But that is where you'll go to upgrade your mods.
But I wonder if there are more to be had.
Thank you, Ortis. Beautiful. Now, you can also see that right here, you'll have this whole area here. You have 3 configurations. So you can make 3 configurations, but you can also buy one for 10 plat. Now, you don't have to buy one for 10 plat, but I wouldn't suggest it. I am going to go over back to here, where it says swap polarity. So you can say the dash one, you want to move it. So you can move it over to there. And then click apply. And then, boom, you've moved it from one spot to another. That's going to be more important when we move over to the weapons. So you just got yourself a Forma blueprint. You've taken the 24 hours and you made it. And now you want to Forma your Warframe. So you go here. So you click on that one. You'll go to Forma. It'll say, are you sure you want to install? Say yes. Now, you would select one, and you can change it to any of the ones except for the Umbral. That one has a particular one. So any of these, you can change. And if you are going to be asking, don't worry. You can also change one that's current. So if I wanted it to not be a dash and just be a plain one, I can do that. See? You can just strip it. I wouldn't suggest it, but it's there. The option is there. So we're gonna click cancel because I'm not gonna form a Banshee. But that's what that is. Now, the last thing you're gonna see, or the last 2 things you're gonna see. So right here, this little 2 with a star, that's how many times I had to Forma my Banshee. This right here is for the lens that I'm currently having. It corresponds to the level and the school of Tenno. When we go over that, I'll let you know. But we're gonna go way over to here, so you can actually link your configuration in chat, and you can also rename your configurations. So when you go up, you can see them. All right. The last thing we're gonna go over is arcanes. That's right here. So each arcane is basically like a mod that has it's a passive mod that's always active. So we'll go with this one right here. It's for Warframe. You can see right there. It's for Warframe. It's at rank 5. So that means all of these are filled out. You need 25 of them to get a max arcane. And you can even select from here. As you can see, I have all of these. Some of them aren't complete, some of them are. So right here I have from unranked. Yes, you can still pop one in. So if you get one arcane, you can still throw it right on in. But for this one, on kill, so when I get a kill, my ability score goes up 0.04%. And then I'll stack up to 250%. So let's do the quick math on that so I can even show you that. So that is 10%. So if I get in a mission 250 kills, my power strength only goes up 10%, which isn't the greatest, but at max, it's a 0.24%. So let's at least, I already know that's a 60 at max, which is very good. But here's the thing. This stack will go away if you die. It'll completely reset. But as long as the requirements are there, we'll go to another one. So let's go to Arcane Blessing, which I still need 4 more to get max rank. So when I get a health pickup, so right there it says on health pickup, I get plus 20 max health. So if you go back, let's go back to over here. Your max health is right here. You can have mods to increase that. So on where is it? So, and it's increases by that, but it stacks up to 50 times. So you can get some good health out of it. And you don't have to have the arcane in there. But this is where you would go to put that on your Warframe. Now, before we get into the weapons, I'm going to now talk about companions. So we're going to start with the carrier. This is a sentinel. Don't think it is a sentient. That's one of the factions. This is a sentinel. I know it's very confusing. You just got to hold on with me. So you can go here. You can equip the different ones. Yes, there are different companions. But for right now, we're just going to go with carrier. So you can upgrade it. You can change the appearance. But we're going to go to upgrade. So this is exactly like your Warframe. But it just does... It doesn't do a whole lot. So you can see the capacity, the armor, the health, the shields, the different configurations. You can even do the exact same thing. It's literally the exact same thing, and it's all right here. I'll even show you there is a creature called the Kavat. So I have one called Eevee. That's my Eevee. And you can see that if I go to upgrade, it'll have everything here. Now, I will go into this when we do the weapons, but this is also where you go for all the weapons. This is for just the Kavat, the Kubros, and some of the more attacky ones. Not the Sentinels, but the other companions will have the damage, and that's where you can go for that. And now, the moment you all been waiting for, we get to talk about weapons. So I have the Breton Prime. Now, this does not mean that there's only a Prime variant. There's also an MK1 and the regular Breton. So if you do have those, you are still good. But this is the Breton Prime variant. And if you don't need to worry about it, you can obtain this weapon. I know it's not going to look exactly like this, but this right here, as Banshee is holding it, yeah, that's what it's going to look like still. This stuff is for endgame stuff. But you can see that there are plenty. And when I say plenty, I mean plenty of weapons to choose from. But now we're going to take a quick look into the upgrades. So you can see that there's the capacity. You also have how many times I have formed it. You can also see over here that there's an arcane, and there's a lot of the exact same things you can already see from everything else. But we're going to go and start for this whole new section here. So as you can see that this is an automatic weapon. So when you hold down the trigger, it will fire until there's no more bullets in the magazine. So you have right here the accuracy, so it's... I think it goes from a 0, not very accurate, to a 100, which is very accurate. You also have the ammo maximum. Now, this is the amount you will be able to hold onto in its entirety. And then the ammo pickup. Whenever you pick up an ammo, whenever you pick up a primary ammo in game, you will get 80 back. So, and then 80 bullets back. So, and that it doesn't go directly into the magazine; it goes into the ammo maximum. So the next one is fire rate, is how fast your gun is going to fire. So right now it's only 9. I think it's 9 bullets per second. So it's not too fast, but it's not too slow. And then right here you have a magazine. The magazine is 75. So it's the number of bullets you can keep in your magazine at one time. And then you go down to here, multi-shot. Now this one's a little interesting. So whenever you shoot a bullet, you have a chance to shoot not 1, but 2. So if you have a gun that has a multi-shot of, say, 7, whenever you pull the trigger, 7 bullets shoot out. Now, they did say... Wait. Okay. So yes, it does not consume... This does not consume more ammunition. You just get if your number of multi-shots is 7, it just instead of taking 7 bullets out, you have additional 7 bullets. And you can see down here it says noise. This is a silent gun. I don't know when it changed to a silent gun. That's news to me. But yes, so the noise level is, there's alarmed and there's silent. Silent is you could hold down the trigger and no enemy is going to be hearing you. As soon as you have something that says alarmed, as soon as you fire it, people will hear it. You have reload over here, and this is the amount of time that it takes to reload your weapon. So right now it's at 1.7 seconds. Riven disposition, when we get into Rivens, which is a mod that's way back over here. This one has a very high Riven disposition, which means it'll have better stats on. It'll have better stats on it, and I think that's how that works. I've never been a huge fan of trying to understand that. So if you go down to here, the trigger, when you hold down the trigger, it's an automatic weapon. It just basically that's what it, and there are different ones that have different things. So let's go down to damage. So we're not going to worry about the incarnate form down here, but we're just going to worry about right here. So you have your crit chance. So every time you fire, there is a crit chance. Right now it went from 12%, and with mods and stuff, I have gotten it up to 75%. So every bullet that fires out, when it hits, it has a 75% chance it is a critical hit. Now, each critical hit has a color correspondent to it, so you know what it is. So white is just a regular damage. Yellow is the first critical. As you can see, when you hit 100, or when it's a critical, it's a yellow critical. So it will only do 1 round of crit damage. Merlin, I'm trying to do something here, bro. All right, and then you have orange, which is a bigger crit, but that is your crit doing another crit. So if you get over 100%, you have 100% crit chance, but you also have another thing to crit. So your crit can then crit again. And then you have the red, which is a super critical. So that is your critting a critical. I know it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's the game. All right, now we're going to go down to the crit. Yeah, the crit multiplier is whatever your total damage, whatever you do, it'll be multiplied by that much. So it's almost 5 times. So it'll do that much damage. It'll do that much more damage. Now status. I am going to go over statuses in another video, but basically status is the polar opposite to critical. But it's similar in a lot of ways. So statuses is like critical chance, but it applies a status. So right now it's a 46. We're going to just round it up to 50. So if you fire 2 bullets, at least one of those 2 bullets will apply a status. And we have a lot of different statuses, as you can see here. Now, as a status, you can also apply 2 of them. As you can see here for viral, it is a cold and a toxic. And that's where you have cold right here and toxic that creates viral. But the rest of it is, except for right here for radial attacks, the fall off is after a certain range, it'll do that much less damage. So after 3 meters, that's radial. So after 3 meters of your thing going off, it does 10% less damage. So another 3 meters, another 10%. But that's pretty much what that'll do. Let me show you another weapon. So I will go to here, the Cernos. So this one, as you can see, a little less accurate. You have something called a charge time. So some weapons are charge. You have to charge the reticle in order to fire it. Now you can fire it at different intervals. Like you can literally just go bam and it'll fire something. But you can also charge it and it'll increase to more damage. It'll either increase the damage, or in some cases it might even increase the critical chance or status. But you can see charge and you have to hold it down. So a charge rate, the less you have to charge, the faster you can do it. So this one you want it as low as possible. The higher it is, the longer it takes. So just think of this as a timer. So there's also beam weapons. So like the Igneous is a beam weapon, as you can see for some strange reason. Oh, I know why it's silent. I'm using Banshee. Banshee's passive makes makes all of her weapons silent no matter what. So as you can see, this one says held. So when you hold down the trigger, you're not charging anything. You just need to hold it, and it's a beam weapon. So other than that, that's pretty much it for your primaries. We're going to go into the melee weapons. In Warframe, there's a lot of weapons, and there's a lot of weapons. I may think about going over some of the weapons. We'll see. I'm not going to do a video on each weapon. It might be a 5-minute thing if I do. We'll see. But as you can see, that this all here is completely different. Everything else is pretty similar, except for you have combos, and there's this thing. So every weapon has this, instead of an aura, there is a stance. And you can actually choose the different ones, and they all do different things. So yeah, each and every stance mod will give you different combos. So if you go here, it'll show you all the combos. So let me move myself. So as you can see, there's the regular melee attack, there's the heavy attack, there's blocking, and then just moving forward. It's different. I'm on Xbox. So if you were to hit the melee button 3 times, that will do the diving kestrel. And if you do this one, the slicing talon, so if I'm moving forward and holding the block button and then pressing B, and I do that 3 times, I will then perform slicing talon. So you do all of these as is, but it's very simple. Either there's the neutral one, which this one right here is the neutral. There's the blocking forward. There's the regular forward, and then there's the blocking neutral melee. That's what these are all called. But as you can see, there's I was using the swooping phoenix. So if I went to Crimson Dervish, you can see that it has different move sets. But you can only put a sword on a sword. So right now, the Dakra Prime is a sword. Now, we're going to go over here. Let me move myself yet again. So, as you can see, attack speed is one attack, or one hit for one attack. If you hit this, it does the animation in 1 second. Block angle is, there's a cone in front of you when you're blocking. So, it could be a very wide cone or a very small cone. And then you have combo duration. So combo duration is when you hit something, that's one hit of your combo. So after 27 seconds, it will cut all of your combo count. Follow through is when you attack an enemy. The higher that number is, it'll go through. It'll continue that attack. It'll keep it'll keep the damage, but it'll keep that attack going through all the enemies. Range, it doesn't increase the blade whatsoever, but it increases its hitbox. So right now it's 2.5, so that's 2.5 meters. So I think the highest I've seen up to maybe 7 meters. So that's 7 meters from you. That's how far the melee goes out. You get your Riven Disposition. Slam attack is when you jump in the air, look down, and then melee attack. And the corresponding slam stuff is right here. We're not going to go over that in detail. I'm pretty sure you are smart enough to figure that one out. Now, slide attack is when you slide. So you'll slide and then you press the melee attack. That is the amount of damage you will be doing. So let's go down all the way to here. Now, I am going to say this right here is with the Kavat stuff. So this is going to go for that as well. So damage, you see right here, it has critical chance. The exact same thing for your weapon is right here. So that's critical chance, critical multiplier, status, and then you have all of these. Heavy attack is so if you have just your regular attacks, you'll think of your regular attack as a quick attack, and your heavy attack as a charged up one that hits a lot harder. So it's slower, but it hits like a truck. Now you can change it so that it actually goes faster. So we're going to go over that. So you see that the heavy attack on this one is a lot higher than the total sum of this one. And then you have the attacks, the slam attack stuff, and then we're going to go down to here, the wind up. So when you attack, you have to wind up your attack. So the heavy attack, it goes, hey, bam! And that's how your heavy attack is. Now, from what I've been going over, your attack speed is after your heavy attack. Your wind up speed is before your attack. So wind up is you're charging up that big attack, and the attack speed is when the next one, when the following attack goes in. And you can also see that you can upgrade all of your weapons and even put a lens on here. But you can see that, yep, Orcan Catalyst goes on your thing. Now, we're almost done, because I said I was going to go through everything, not that. You also have a thing called a Parazon. So this is not a weapon whatsoever, but this is how you hack different things in the game. Now, you can change the appearance, and I think right now there's only... you can change the skins, but you can also change the skins, but you can also change the colors. Honestly, the base one is perfectly fine, but you can also put upgrades. So this stuff right here, you don't need to worry about, but I'm going to show you right here. So these are mods. They have no drain on them because there's no thing to do that. So each one, when you do either a mercy kill or you hack something, some of these will go off. So when you do a mercy kill, it's 100% chance that the next ability I cast gets 50% power strength. So if I perform a mercy kill, which you'll see it'll say mercy and then whatever your finisher is, mine is X. So when I go up, I press that, I'll perform a finisher with the Parazon. There's also out of sight for the mercy kill. Most of my stuff is mercy kill. But you also have this one right here, Intruder. So while you're hacking, if you are new to the game, I highly suggest putting that one on immediately. You will definitely not regret it. You can also put that one on, but for the most part, you don't want to be hacking while people are attacking you. That being said, alright, so if you go over to here, yep, that is your companion, and you actually could go into a mission with no companion. It is totally reasonable. You don't have to do it. But now we have two more things over here. We're going to go over these very briefly, but before I get over to here, I will tell you other stuff. Okay, so right here, you see that this says gear. You will also have gear in Warframe. This is your gear wheel. So you can see that I have a multitude of things to put on here. So you'll come down here, it says add gear. Let me move it over to here. So you can see that I can add anything in here onto my gear wheel. Now, a lot of this stuff means almost nothing to you, as though you are a beginner, but there's a few things you can just immediately get for either credits, and you see yep, right there for credits, or for platinum, which I don't think you'll get too many of those. But here is where you can add it in. And you, when you go into the mission, for me it's down on the D-pad, and this will come up. You also have emotes. And let me move myself again. So you can add different emotes into here. So I will go and add, let's do that one. So Steel Path Derelict. Now I have completed some stuff in the Steel Path. Steel Path is hard mode. So when you go to your navigation and you complete the star chart, you will go into what's known as hard mode or the Steel Path. When you complete a node, when you complete a planet, you will get this. So now, how do you use it? I will show you. So right here, if I was in the middle of a mission, I can use any of this stuff. And yes, it's pretty much infinite. I could just do this all day. But you can select them from there. Now you can also go over here to your emotes. So let's select the new one I just put. So you can see this one will show off the derelict that I completed, and you can, it's an emote that basically shows off that you did that. So if I wanted to do another one, let's do a wave. So it's just your Warframe wave. It's just your Warframe. It's just emotes. Very simple stuff. So let's go back into the arsenal, and then we'll go to the last section. But before that, spoiler alert. And I say spoiler alert. I say spoiler alert. This is your one and only warning. All right? Cool. Now, you kind of seen a little bit of the next spoiler in the gears, but that's where you'll go to get to summon some of these things. So if you go over to here, and I'll move myself over to here, you have vehicles in Warframe. So you have your Arcwing stuff, your heavy weapon right there, your K-Drive, which is pretty much your skateboard, and your Necromech, which is a mech you can run around in. Now, I'm not going to go too in-depth into any of these, except for this one. There's a slight thing. So if you go to Equip, these are all the arc guns that you can use. And you can see that the stats are over here as well. But in order to actually use any of these, you can see right here, if I click that, you must have the Gravimag installed before it can become a heavy weapon. Now install it, one left. We're going to click cancel. So if I have this weapon and I want to use it as a heavy gun, and heavy gun it's basically like the miniguns in the game. You can summon them and you only get so much ammo, but you can get more ammo in game. But for the time being, they're basically a minigun, and I love these. I wish there was a Warframe that had an exalted weapon for this, because when I say I love miniguns, I mean I love miniguns. It's a very unhealthy thing, But yeah, this is where you will go for just about all of your vehicles. I got one more that I need to get, and that's from Deviri, and I don't know if I can mod it from here. I don't know if I even can mod it, and I don't even know if it does go here. But this is where you will go for all that fun stuff. And that is pretty much it for the Warframe and weapons. I will go over one more thing, just so you know. For beginners, this is a huge tip. So, when you go throughout your gameplay of Warframe, one of the things you will find out is you don't have a whole lot of space. So if you do find yourself that you don't have space and there's a weapon that you just don't use and it's at max, what you will do is you will go to options, equipment, and then you'll go down to inventory. And this will bring up everything you ever had. And when I say everything, I mean everything. So, for Warframe, if there's a Warframe you have now 2 of and you wish to get rid of, or you have a base Warframe that you now have the Prime variant of and you want to get rid of, I say hold on to it, because I'll even go over that after this. You can go here and you can sell it. So if you go over to here and say the Acatriton, this one, say I don't need it. I don't need it anymore. And the best way you can, let me move myself. The best way you can tell that you don't, if you already have used it and maxed it out, you see right here these this reef. That means you have maxed it out. Right there. This means you need to be at Master Rank 10 in order to obtain it or even use it. And that is, there's a Orkin Catalyst in it. So it gives you all this stuff. It gives you all this information. And if, say I wanted to sell it, you just go right to there. It's on your list of selling. It's 5,000 credits. And when you click sell, you'll just straight up sell it. And that's how you that's how you keep a steady weapon slots. So I will show you how many I have. So weapon slots, you can see that you can buy them right here. I have 18 open. So if I decided I wanted another weapon, I have 18 slots more. So I can literally just grab 18 more weapons, and I have plenty of inventory space for them. Here I have 28 Warframe slots, and you will be getting a lot of these. Honestly, I wish every time I got an empty Warframe slot, I would just get 20 credits, or 20 platinum just back to me. But this is pretty much where you will get. This is pretty much where you will go if you really have a question about anything. That is pretty much it for weapons and Warframe. If you do like this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification whenever my videos upload. You will know. And yes, I'm still going to be doing streams on Saturday, as of right now, currently. I do hope everyone is enjoying the shorts. I will be doing, the 53 Warframe shorts, and they're just short descriptions. I will go in detail on all of them. But I wanted to thank everyone for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Goodbye.